ShartimusPrime, reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shits, subscribe
Go like that to make sure I don't have the squeaky chair.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Legends action figure review on the Doctor Strange Dormammu Build-A-Figure waves, Mystic Rivals, Nico, and Enchantress. If you're trying to pick up this wave, you can get it.
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
So there's a lot of repaints in this wave, and I'm just throwing in Enchantress with the Nico review because, hey, they're the running change of each other. So they have the same packaging on the side. You can see, two Nikos. Then on the other side, you get two beautiful Enchantresses. Ooh, don't mind that. And then on the back over here, you can see both figures, and then there's the read-up. If you want to read it, pause it now. Then there's the other figures from the wave. What's really cool about the packaging for these is that you get this spot varnished Marvel at the top. I think that's really neat looking, right? That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get to it and crack these things open. And here are the figures out of the packaging. And I like them both. I'm very happy with both of these pieces, even though the Enchantress over here is mostly just a repaint. But Hasbro has done some other things with the figure that I will definitely talk about in just a minute. But yes, I'm happy with this Enchantress. The Nico figure I'm very excited for. Pretty obscure character from the team Runaways. And if you haven't read the Runaways books, I highly recommend it. Very good reads. I have a bunch of issues over here. I went through my long box and I was really stoked to find out that I had issue number 1 also signed by Brian K. Vaughan. I thought that was really cool. And I love Brian K. Vaughan's writing. If you haven't heard of Saga, he's really well known right now for writing Saga. Joss Whedon also went on board to write some Runaways. So if you're a Joss Whedon fan, you're really going to like it a lot, as well as being a Brian K. Vaughan fan. I really liked Runaways. So very sad that it's gone. But the Nico character, very cool, and very happy to see her in action figure form. But for right now, let's take a closer look at Enchantress. Now, like the other Enchantress figure, we get these two magic effects right over here, and we've seen these with Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange. They look cool. Very glossy plastic over here, especially compared to the last Doctor Strange figure's magic effects right here. This is the same color, but this one definitely has a matted finish. This one has that glossier finish to it. Then to compare them to the Hexa effects that came with the SDCC Enchantress, you can see this is a much darker green right over here. Now, I do have a little gripe about these, or it's mostly actually about the figure itself. If you can see right over here, the cuff right there is actually kind of moving outward away from the figure. Compared to the SDCC version, you can see that this is a lot more tapered in. And the reason why that's an issue is because I like to pop the hands off and then use the little small circle right there to wrap those around her wrist. And it's trickier to do that when you have this plastic flaring outward at the end, and it's a lot easier to switch it out on the SDCC version. Now, it still works. You could still do it. I'm not saying it's it doesn't work at all. It's just a little bit trickier to do, and you could see some of the stress marking right over there around the edge of that cuff. Now, I am very happy with this head sculpt. Wow, Hasbro, this is very impressive. A lot better than the first version. This one, I thought she had a weird smirk. I didn't really like the flesh tone as much. The tiara has this nice shimmery green plastic, or paint anyway, that I do prefer over this one. But I mean, that's really the only preference I have for this one over this one as far as the head sculpt and the paint goes. Or the head sculpt's the same, but as far as the paint goes, I mean, she's looking up, she's got that weird smirk. The smirk's not as noticeable over here. The eyes look way better. I really like this a lot. I love the flesh tone. So great job on Hasbro's part. But the added bonus here is the hair. Now, the paint detail in the hair is pretty much the same. You get some color variation and everything. Yeah, it looks a little better on this one, I think. But the plastic is soft on this one, and I'm very happy with that, especially because they had mentioned looking into softer plastics and stuff like that for the hair at San Diego Comic-Con, and they weren't messing around. They actually went for it. You cannot bend the hair nearly as much on this SDCC version as you can on this one right here, and I like that because you can actually get her in more poses, and I think that is great. So I'm very pleased with that. Again, the breasts look absolutely fantastic. 10 out of 10 on those chimbomba rasadas. I don't really like the sleeves here as much as I had mentioned right here at the end towards the wrist, and on the right side it's actually not as bad. This looks a little cooler to me, I'm always a big fan of the shimmery and everything. But this does match the rest of the figure pretty well. I mean, overall, I mean, there's no denying it. This is just a better figure than the SDCC version. But I have an extra one of these for sale if you're interested. So yeah, hit me up. Anyway, you can see that we have gold painted around right over here. On this one, we do not. And a slightly different color green right there for the circles moving down her legs. Another added bonus is that this is made out of a softer material as well. So it does help with articulation a little bit more. So more in the way that you can, you know, shift this down so that it doesn't get bunched up like that. So I really like that a lot. I've noticed that, you know, this has gotten a little loose, which is kind of funny because yesterday I did a P.O. Box pickups video just talking about how Hasbro joints don't really get that loose, but it does happen with the Hasbro joints. So it's a little on the loose side. It makes it trickier for her to stand, but you know, otherwise really good figure. If you want to see the height comparisons and you want to see the articulation segment of this figure, go ahead and click at the card up over there and it'll take you to this review where you can see all those details. So here's Nico's staff, the Staff of One, I believe it's called. I remember this book came out in 2003, which is crazy, man. It was a long time ago. Now, the staff has different looks. I'm used to seeing the longer version, and it looks like this is the version that came out in the later series or the later issues, which I'm less familiar with. I really like the smoky effect that we get over here. The magic smoke looks really cool, man. If we get another Nightcrawler figure, please include a bunch of these for the BAF. Come on. I would have liked some paint detail in there or whatever, but you know, it's semi-translucent, so I like it. You know, it looks pretty cool. And just which way do you insert the staff? You want to find the wide part, right? So just insert the staff like so. It's fairly easy to do, and then there it goes. So I like that. That's pretty good. Yeah, looking very cool. The creepy thing about this is for her to use her staff, she has to bleed. So it's really gross that she has to like cut herself or brush her teeth until her gums start bleeding or something until the staff comes out of her body. It just like just comes out of her stomach or her chest, and it's pretty gnarly. I think that's really awesome. I mean, that's why she's so goth looking and everything. And then she has this interchangeable arm right over here. It detaches at the shoulder, so you can see it's already attached. And we get that translucent pinkish purple color again, looking really nice over here. I love the paint deco that we're getting right there on the sleeve. That looks very impressive to me. And we also get a regular arm right over here. Now, the significance of this whole piece right over here that we don't see over there, I don't remember what that's from. If you happen to remember why this glove changes right over here, you know, let me know in the comments below, but I don't remember that really happening. Another really cool thing about the character is that she can't cast a spell more than once. So, like, if she wants, you know, somebody to freeze or something, she has to say like frozen, and then the next time she does it, she has to say something like, oh, you're stuck, you know, make it around there. But anyway, looking at the head sculpt, okay, I really like the head sculpt a lot. I don't think she looks Asian. I really think Hasbro has an inability to make action figures look Asian. I don't know, she kind of does, but to me, she doesn't. I think it's the nose. It's a little too pointy or something like that. The eyes look, you know, a little bit more Asian, but, you know, I am an Asian connoisseur, and, you know, the Japanese ones is my favorite ones out there, you know, and she's Japanese, but she doesn't really look too Japanese. I really like the lipstick, and by the way, you know, isn't it cool seeing this dark lipstick come back into fashion now? I don't know, I just think it's kind of neat to see. I always liked that. But anyway, going back to the figure, the eyes look really good. We get this really nice bright pink over there. I think it looks fantastic. You also get some blush around above right there, or I don't know if it's blush, but whatever. It's like little extra purple right around above the eyes. I really like how the hair is sculpted over here too. It looks really good. I like her skin color too. Looks really nice. I'm really liking this a lot. I think the paint came out really clean. For the most part, I do like the sculpt. It's just, I don't know, she doesn't really look too Asian to me. She still looks like a white girl, like a white goth girl, you know? Anyway, looking right over here, the corset looks really good. And from what I understand, this is all newly sculpted stuff, I guess except for the hands. They may have reused these arms from the female teenage body mold, but I still like them. It looks really good. And again, you know, the deco right there, very impressed by that. I like how the skirt looks over here. Really nice, really well done. She's got a young booty right over there. And the back of the corset looks really good. And then the legs look really nice. And they even painted inside the joints right there. So I really like that a lot. That looks really good. She does have this weird smudge right there. I noticed that, along with the numbering and everything. Oh, wow, they even detailed out her little panties. Huh, I didn't notice that earlier. Wow. Yeah, you're probably saying, yeah, right, Shartimus. Probably sitting all by yourself in your darky room looking up the skirts of all your action figures. But really, I just really did just notice that now. But I am sitting in a room by myself right now looking up the skirt of an action figure, so there you go. Anyway, you have some silver paint right over there on the buckles, and then nice laces right over there, and she does have peg holes at the bottom of her feet, as well as some treads. One thing I didn't mention is that the hair is soft, just like the Enchantress figure, so that does help with moving the head upward. She can look all the way up. I think that's great. That little bit of hair at the bottom does not hinder the articulation, so I'm very happy about that. Her head can look all the way down. That's very good. And she has side-to-side movement, and I guess a tiny little bit of neck pivot right over there. She's sassy. Anyway, yeah, you get shoulders that move outward all the way up like that. Same thing with this side. That's very good, and they can move down pretty far. They move forward. She bends once at the elbow. I wish we got double-jointed elbows on these figures. She has rotation right over there, rotation at the wrist, and both wrists hinge up and down. She has a diaphragm joint that turns side to side, a little bit of diaphragm pivot, actually a good amount of diaphragm pivot. She does crunch forward a little bit. She crunches back more so. No waist articulation. She does have hips that move outward that far, and she can kick forward that much, and she can only kick back just a little bit. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, boot rotation. She also has ankles that move down, they move up, and she does have ankle pivot. Now, because this skirt can actually shift upwards, you can move her hips all the way out like that. So there she is at her widest stance possible with both feet still flat on the floor. And then here's Enchantress with her widest stance possible with both feet still flat on the floor. And wow, that's really hard to get her into this pose. I mean, it's just very tricky and it doesn't really look good. We needed a better ankle pivot with this one, or a calf rotation or something like that. And now I understand why we don't get double jointed elbows on the female figures. Hasbro doesn't want us posing our female figures so that they can touch their own boobs. Now to measure out these two figures, you can see to the top of Nico's head, she's standing closer to 5.5 inches tall. I guess to the top of that ponytail right over there, it's over 6 inches. And then Enchantress is standing a little over 6.5 inches tall. And then bringing in the SDCC Enchantress once again, you can see the color differences between these two. Which one do you prefer? I'm definitely liking this one more. And oh my goodness, Nico's in an Enchantress sandwich. Oh, my mind is going into strange places.
God, why do you have to be such a pervert, Shartimus?
And to compare Enchantress and Nico to some other female figures, we have Ms. Marvel over here, and then we have the Ultimate Spider-Woman. And you can see that the two teenage figures are around the same height. Enchantress is supposed to be pretty tall, so that looks pretty good to me. And then here's Nico and Enchantress compared to the other two figures from this wave that I've already reviewed, Iron Fist and the movie Doctor Strange. If you missed out on either of these reviews, go ahead and click the card right over there. Then to compare these figures to an average-sized male figure, we have the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Waves Deadpool, and here they are next to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Now, one thing I should have mentioned earlier was that the packaging for these two characters says Mystic Rivals, and I have no recollection of these characters actually ever meeting each other or ever fighting each other or anything like that. But if you do, please let me know in the comments below. I like both of these figures very much. I'm very happy to see the improvements on the Enchantress figure over here. A little bummed out. I feel like with the SDCC, it's kind of a little bit of a loss for me, but again, I'm very happy to see a better version right over here. The Nico, I'm super pleased with. I really like the figure a lot, and I love that Hasbro's keeping up with the tradition of Marvel Legends, throwing in an obscure character every once in a while. I hope to complete the Runaways. That would be very cool, and I would love to have a Deinonychus figure too. That would be very cool, right? Was it Lace or Lass? I can't remember the name of Chase's Deinonychus, but that would be really cool to see that in action figure form, right? I doubt we're ever going to see that. But anyway, I'm very pleased with these figures, and I hope you guys are very pleased with this review. If you are, please hit the like button. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these two figures. Let me know what you think of the review. If you have not subscribed yet, please stick around and wait for the subscribe circle, or click the subscribe button down below over there. If you want to check out my previous video, go ahead and check the box down right over there. That should be popping up in just a second. That's where the Big Time Letdown Spider-Man cape came from, so if you want to see that, go ahead and check it out. If you want to see a photo gallery of images, it's all over at marvelousnews.com, and you can follow me on the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links all in the description below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
Except for the hands, maybe they